That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know, whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but now I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there to play us out. What does that mean, to play us out? That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks. That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Take you out, I wanna take you on, I wanna drive this car until the stars are gone. I wanna hear your voice on that country wind, fill up my lungs with fire and leather, your salt water and skin. I don't know where we end and time begins. I knew you in a past life, I think that we travel together in another century. Don't bother with our last rites. You waste your breath, we'll live forever. You plus time plus me. Infinity. Infinity. I'm not afraid to live, I'm not afraid to die. Every hand you hold, one day will wave goodbye. But you and me, we roar down a separate track. And when my body does release me, for you I will be back, climbing through that cosmic zodiac. I knew you in a past life, I think that we travel together in another century. Don't bother with our last rites. You waste your breath, we'll live forever. You plus time plus me. Infinity. Infinity. I knew you in a past life, I think that we travel together in another century. Don't bother with our last rites. You waste your breath, we'll live forever. You plus time plus me. Infinity. Infinity. Don't bother with our last rites. You waste your breath, we'll live forever. Plus time plus me. Infinity. Infinity. Infinity.
Good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, May 12th. The time is now 7:02 a.m. in the Central Standard Time, and I'm really excited that you've tuned in. We're going to go through some spirituality stuff, some news that we want to keep you informed on, and always great, brand new music. So thanks for tuning in. Today, this morning, I would like to start off with debunking one of the memes and claims that is going on the internet, where it states that even on cloudy days, that sunflowers will turn to face each other so as to share their energy. But the truth of the matter is that doesn't actually happen. Now, what all plants do, and if you actually water them and watch and pay attention, you're actually going to be able to verify exactly what I'm stating here. So what we have is young sunflowers, once they have not bloomed yet, ones that have not bloomed yet, bend from east to west over the course of each day, following the movement of the sun. It's called heliotropism, right? And at night they bend back from west to east to gain maximum sunlight from the sun rising. This is called circadian rhythm, similar to the circadian rhythm that regulates sleep and wakefulness in humans. So if you really look at it on a deeper level, you'll understand that we are just like the flowers of the field. There's no difference between us and the flowers. The only difference is that we've been given a voice to speak and a heart to love others and to be vulnerable and real and truthful in a time where everybody is a deceitful and a liar. And we do it because we want to make sure that everybody has a chance, that there is still good left in this reality. So let's get into the podcast. Thanks for tuning in. This next one is beautiful too. It's one to definitely think upon. Have deep reflections into your own mind. It says, build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. Are you following your dreams? Are you giving up on them? Maybe you think you're too old, or you've done too much, or maybe you just haven't been able to quite reach your dreams yet. But I just want to tell you this morning, come on, get back up. Those dreams are meant for you. They're yours. You just have to actually put the work together in the actions and follow the words that you speak in the beat of your heart, and you will achieve those dreams. This one says, talk to yourself in a way you'd talk to someone you love. Be warm and understanding towards yourself when you suffer, when you fail, or when you feel not good enough, rather than punishing yourself with self-criticism. Give yourself a break. Don't be so hard on yourself today and tomorrow and for the rest of the weekend. Have peace inside your heart and start to contemplate your dreams, because it's never too late to achieve everything that you've ever dreamed of achieving. This one is very important. Bad communication ends a lot of great and good things. So make sure that in your relationships that you're communicating as best as you can, because you really don't want to end something that's beautiful because of a bad communication. So take some more time, think through your relationships, and then communicate really well, and you're going to have really good relationships. This next one says, also you must worry about your attitude. Our lives are not determined by what happens to us, but by how we react to what happens. Not by what life brings to us, but by the attitude we bring to life. A positive attitude causes a chain reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It's a catalyst, a spark that creates extraordinary results. So if you find yourself down, depressed, if your things aren't going your way, all it takes is changing your attitude. Start to be happy and grateful for what you have. And then these thoughts and feelings that you have become chain reactions towards positive outcomes. You start manifesting in the correct direction. So work on your attitude today and tomorrow and for the rest of the weekend. This one says, wisdom. He who blames others has a long way to go on his journey, but he who blames himself is halfway there. He who blames no one has arrived. Are you working on who you're blaming? Are you taking accountability for yourself? And are you also being gentle and kind on your own soul? That is the question that I leave for you to contemplate today. Because we know that we're so blessed. We really are. To be alive right now, to be able to do this type of content, this small but powerful team, me and the Goldsmith, working hard each and every week to make sure that you can tune in and you can have your soul watered. Because all we ever wanted to do was help other people bloom. And sometimes the truth hurts, but we always know that we've been blessed to be alive right now. It says hard times are often blessings in disguise. Let go and let life strengthen you. No matter how much it hurts, hold your head up and keep on going. Sometimes the hardest lessons to learn are the ones your spirit needs most. Your past was never a mistake if you learned from it. Understand that everything you've went through has created exactly who you are. There isn't a thing I would change. I sure know that gaining weight and not exercising and not eating correctly has been one of the most difficult mistakes of my life. But it's also taught me about perseverance and unwavering ability to never give up, because Truly, anything that you want to have in this everlasting life is going to be earned, right? So even though I've gone up and down hundreds of pounds in weight, I can promise you every single step of this journey has molded me into who I was meant to be. And everything that you've gone through has molded you to become exactly who you are meant to be. So understand that you're blessed for your suffering and your mistakes and anything you've gone through. It created who you are. So take it back and own it today. This last one's really beautiful. Some words from Christ. It says, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours." So let's get into some news. I'm going to see you guys after this song break and we'll get into it. Thanks for tuning in. Again, it's Friday, May 12th. The time is now 7:08 a.m. in the Central Standard Time. That's 8:08 in the lovely eastern coast of the United States and America. I'll see you after this.
Drive my car off a bridge, yeah, I said it again. I'm overthinking when I'm drinking, should've stayed in my bed. It's all up in flames, blew up in my face. It's the end of the world. Yeah, I think there's somewhere out there, there's a happy version of me. It's somewhere out there, there's an invitation for me. I wanna drive my car off a bridge, yeah, I said it again. I know, I'm overthinking when I'm drinking, should've stayed in my bed. I do this all the time, I spiral out of rhyme, I'm one of a kind. I do this all the time, I spiral out of line, I'm one of a kind. Laid on the floor, locked all my doors, yeah, I felt this before. I tried my best, but I'm still a mess. Now I'm tying my rope. I wanna drive my car off a bridge, yeah, I said it again. I know, I'm overthinking when I'm drinking, should've stayed in my bed. I do this all the time, I spiral out of rhyme, I'm one of a kind. I do this all the time, I spiral out of line, I'm one of a kind. I'm one of a kind. I wanna drive my car off a bridge, yeah, I said it again. I know, I'm overthinking when I'm drinking, should've stayed in my bed. I do this all the time, I spiral out of line, I'm one of a kind. I do this all the time, I spiral out of line, I'm one of a kind. I'm one of a kind.
And that was Weathers with their brand new song, One of a Kind. And good morning. Check this out. Isn't this some beautiful, beautiful art? I really like some of this digital, beautiful art. Look at how the light just casts through the clouds onto the sailboat. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys had a great week. You're ready for your weekend. It's beautiful. Great digital art. Let's get into some of this news. What do we got first off on the list? Do you know about Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi, and Nomani? Did you know that they were all actually CIA agents? You can see them all photographed together. And the scam is out. People are starting to document and put the links together. And they're starting to realize that the CIA, Mossad, MI6, and all the other different so-called secret society groups have orchestrated nothing but theatrical fake wars and lied to divide and conquer the people. But there's good channels out here like Peaceful Quaker and many others that are trying to tell you the information. And we're going to tie more of these CIA agents in together throughout this podcast. That was just the first one. And continuing on with that, we have more of that as it loads here on the screen. Interestingly enough, another one of the CIA agents, if you didn't know, Balar Abbas, how is his name? Bashar I can't remember his name. So Nomani's real father was actually, if you believe it, William Richard Williamson, and he was born in Bristol, England in 1872 with British parents and lineage, right? So another thing that they do is they take these agents, right? And then they train them, and then they give them alter characters. And then they set them up to dismiss and malinform the population. They've been doing this for a very long time, but now because we have the internet and online social media, we can actually document it and connect the dots, right? This one says, breaking, if you haven't heard, Soros takes control of failed liberal media network. If you didn't know about it, Vice Media is close to finalizing the deal with senior leaders, including Fortress Investment Group and Soros Fund Management, to actually purchase the struggling media company of bankruptcy for the valuation. They're saying that they're going to pay Vice $400 million. You know, Vice has been nothing but a dismiss and malinformation network right from the start. Right? And if you go in and dig deep into who already owns Vice, you're going to see that they've always been owned by the same characters. They're just shifting around names. We just wanted to document that this morning. This one off the expose. It says Ukrainian bankers offers cash to weapons manufacturers. And get this, Star Wars actor recruited to promote drone terror in Russia. So that Russia drone attack on the Kremlin, right, where they supposedly now we're going to go to fake nuclear war, has been nothing more than dismiss and malinformation. And you can see here they're actually recruiting Star Wars actors to do their bidding. And as you can see, this is what takes place after the so-called drone attack. We got a clip here from Russia. I believe this is in Moscow as it's loading. Check this out. 3 hours ago, they're saying in Moscow. This was back on May 5th. Check this out. Last Friday, we got this link. I just want to show you guys, this isn't real, okay? This rocket is just a tube. It's just absolute theater of war. That's all they've ever done is fake stuff. Do you think that this machine here, this truck, will be able to support a rocket like this that's taking off the ground? You're absolutely out of your mind if you think that this is real in any way. These are like propane tanks, if anything. They're carrying propane around in these. That's all it is, an oversized propane tank, and they've using it to propagate the theater of war. We just wanted to point that out and make sure that you understand how everything on both sides of this so-called war is an absolute psyop. This one says Google plans to upgrade search with AI chat, video clips, Wall Street Journal reports. So we're getting more and more reports coming out that AI, or the search algorithms that they've created, are becoming more and more the norm here. It says Google is planning to make its search engine more visual, snackable, personal, and human, they say, with a focus on serving young people globally, even though we live on a flat, stationary plane. The Wall Street Journal reported this on Saturday, citing more documents. So Google and their artificial algorithms that help you search their mis, dis, and malinformation campaigns is full steam ahead. Check this one out. The EU Parliament criticizes for displaying vulgar depictions of Christ and his apostles. We've got these gross demonic characters here in 2023. I don't know if we've ever had a more demonic time. Now, before the flood, it was pretty bad here. But as you can see, they're promoting LGBTQ Christ-like character, when all Christ really did was walked around and told people that you're going to pay for your sins if you don't repent of them and start doing good to others. If you continue to lust in your minds and your heart, covet other things from other people, if you're a liar, there's hellfire. You know, Christ spoke more about the lake of fire than he did about anything else. So, and here they go, flipping everything that is evil. They're now turning good, and they're saying everything that's good and truthful, they're saying is a lie and evil. We just have to document how crazy this actually is. Can't even believe that last one. Check this out. Moving on now, we're going to talk a tiny bit about, I guess everyone's probably just as sick as I am about this coronation nonsense. But yes, the template that was used for Charles' coronation is that of a coronation of Solomon, they say, from back in the Hebrew Israelite days. Overall structure is straight from the Hebrew Bible, says this Rabbi Jonathan Romaine. So as you can see here, tiny hats, whether they be from the Jesuit Roman Catholic Church or whether they're from those who call themselves Jews, which is ridiculous because they're not people descendant from the region of Judea, which is the southern region of Israel. Right? The people living in Israel right now are in the occupied state of Palestine. But they're continuing to propagate that they're actually Jews, and they've taken some of the rituals. Listen, did you guys know that David wasn't allowed to build this church? The father would not allow him to it. Okay, he wouldn't do it. He denied his request, and what he did was he let Solomon build this temple. Did you guys know that when Solomon ended his reign as king at the end of his life, that they were sacrificing babies to Moloch in the streets? All types of things were taking place. Disgusting things were taking place because everything that they were doing was absolutely wicked. So be careful who you take truth from and which scriptures you're going to data mine. You need to find the beginning to the end. You need to understand the whole picture so that you can rightfully divide. It's just insane. And you know, the Jays, the Muslims, and the Sikhs, they're the ones who are playing the large coronation roles, and they were back at the time when Elizabeth was crowned. And we also have many druidic and other types of rituals that these families have done. But as you can see, nothing has changed. Nothing is new under the sun. Here they are doing the exact same thing. But I will say that a lot of people now actually understand that these monarch systems are nothing more than Azazel's children, the fallen angels, right? We don't need monarchs. We've never needed them. There's no rightful king here on earth right now. And there's no one that could ever be, because power corrupts. Right? It just, as soon as there's money, as soon as there's power, everything just turns wicked. Okay, over and over again, time and time again, it's been proven. This is absolutely no different. This one's interesting. I don't know if you guys saw, but The Simpsons covered it. They had some kind of a Grim Reaper character at this so-called coronation doing more of their rituals. That's what they do. So as you can see here, they've got the ritual taking place below, and they're showing Homer dressed up as the so-called Reaper. And then down here, I'll zoom in so you can see, you had this Reaper character walking back and forth with some kind of scepter. And I mean, this is just crazy. Like, this is just bonkers to me. I can't even believe that we're covering this on the Rise and Grind, but this is what took place during the so-called coronation. So it's funny, again, the Freemasons and the Jesuits and the New World Order agents of death and destruction constantly pre-program the minds of the youth. They generally attack the minds of the youth first, and they do this through their cartoons, crazily enough, and we're documenting it right back. This next one, as it loads, says breaking. Did you know? Another breaking headline. The verdict: the 9 jurors decided following a civil trial that yes, Trump did not rape E. Jean Carroll, but did find him liable for defaming her. And if you remember his famous grab her in the you-know-what statement, so apparently this is what Trump was found guilty of doing. And if you really want to know, he grabs women there because he's actually looking for trannies. He wants the women to have something else because, you know, that's what he's into. If you want to know the truth, we're going to give it to you on the Rise and Grind. Again, he did do it, right? He's been found guilty. He grabs women there because he's actually looking for something that he wants to be there that shouldn't be there. Obviously, E. Jean Carroll didn't have that, so he didn't want anything more to do with her. But they found him innocent of the rape, but guilty of defaming her and also groping her in a sexual way. Whether that's, I still believe that's rape too, but I'll leave that up to the so-called court systems. This says, why is everyone, post-haste, why is everyone, this coming off the Financial Post, why is everyone suddenly going crazy for gold? It's a good question, because, you know, when everything goes down and the Great Tribulation kicks off, you can't eat gold. No one is going to trade you their food for gold. No one's going to trade you clean water for gold. Okay, none of this shiny, fancy material is going to save you from anything. It's being propagated because the elites own the gold and they want you to buy it. And you know, it's funny, if you look into some of these gold scams, you don't even get to physically hold the gold. They just give you a number and an account. And they say, oh, you own this much gold, right? Good luck with that. Moving on from this one, the next one coming in, this is that case with Jeffrey Epstein and JP Morgan and Chase Stanley thwarted bank efforts. They're trying to stop what's going on in this case. We've noticed is that Mr. Edwards' efforts to remove an adversary from the case at this advanced stage based on a non-existent conflict would cause JP Morgan and Chase severe hardship and prejudice by denying JPMC its counsel and choice. Well, their action and what they've asked for has been denied in this late hour. They call it the 11th hour of the case. So what's going on is there's people coming out and they're suing these banks. These banks were abetting and aiding Jeffrey Epstein and his money laundering, you know what they were doing here, and they're actually taking it to court. But we all know that the Freemasons and the Jesuits run the court system, so nothing's going to come from this, but we're going to continue to document it here on the Rise and Grind. This next one's crazy if you haven't heard it yet. China calls for China to stop unreasonable provocations, it says here. China warns China to stop unreasonable provocations on Tuesday after they made a tit-for-tat consular expulsions in a diplomatic row. It says here, we advise the Canadian side to immediately stop its unreasonable provocations. Quote, Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin told a briefing. If the Canadian doesn't listen to this advice and acts recklessly, China will take the resolute and forceful retaliatory measures, and all consequences will be borne by the Canadian side. So Canada is going to fight China, the two countries that are just hand in hand, glove in hand, working together for the totalitarian takeover of the world. But they're fake fighting in these different types of court meetings, and like they'd said, tit for tat consular expulsions. Canada's kicking you're out, and China's saying we're going to go to war if you keep doing this. What are they going to stop sending the dollar store goods to Canada? That would be good. Moving on from that one, this is crazy, but also true. At least we do see some people fighting and calling some of this stuff out. It says here, harmful consequences. Tommy Lauren slams the left for promoting sex reassignment surgeries to the American youth. And we get here, convincing young people that they are born in the wrong body and that thus they should cut off body parts is not, quote, mental health care. It's abuse. And she's absolutely correct with that statement. Wish more people would come out and stand up against that crazy agenda that we watch taking place here. This one load. This one was an interesting post. It's not really, I don't know if this person speaks well English. It says Satan in the Bible, or the 66 book canon that most people think is the complete scriptures, which is an absolute lie. It says Satan, right, in the Bible, but in the book of Enoch that was removed from the Bible, the two names Satan and Lucifer aren't mentioned. Right, we get the true names of these fallen angels as Gadriel and Azazel, and they're mentioned a lot, as well as the other fallen angels that were all the names removed from the Bible. So to get the full picture, we have to always investigate, because everything that we have has been manipulated and twisted in a way so that they can hide the true information from you. Many of the great spirituality teachings were removed from the scriptures so that there was confusion. They don't want you to know who you're actually fighting against, because then you take the power back. So this was a great post. I'm the only one that's seen it. I wanted to share it with you. This one says, new disinfo office to combat foreign U.S. public opinion. This is crazy. When I scrolled through this, what I got was, so we've got this GOP leader, Chuck Grassley, coming out and stating stuff like, here, let's hear.
And what they've done to follow up and the results of those follow-ups. Or if nothing's been done, then does that indicate some political calculations interfered, like I have made that accusation before in the case of Hunter Biden versus Trump, of political decisions that people have made in the FBI to start an investigation against Trump based on very minor evidence, and stop an investigation of Hunter Biden. I think.
So what we're getting now is we're getting these government politicians and absolute puppets of the New World Order. They're starting to come out and say that so the election wasn't fair, but they can't say that publicly because then they're going to be held liable for supposedly lying. But they're now trying to state that, you know, it's been a one-sided, so the left is starting to get pushed back on. So that the two sides are absolutely just created to divide you. Right, so they're creating what we want to point out here again is a new disinfo office to combat foreign and U.S. public opinion. What do you think is truly going to be taking place here? Censorship is all that's ever going to be taking place, and division of the truth. That's all they want to do. This is an interesting one that I hadn't heard before that I thought was really cool, and we'll share it with you guys. Check this out. Myth. This one says, let me get this centered on the screen. It says, if you turn airplane mode on or remove your SIM card, it prevents so-called tracking. The truth of it is GPS and IMEI number are actually what's used to track us down. I didn't know what this IMEI number was, so I did a quick search, and it turns out an IMEI stands for International Mobile Equipment Identity. So it's kind of like your ID. It says, think of it as your phone's fingerprint. It's a 15-digit number unique to each device. The phone carries and manufacturers share the IMEI numbers, and look at what they say they share it to do. It says to enable tracking of smartphones that may be stolen or compromised. Right? I beg to differ. I think that they do this to track and trace and data mine absolutely everything that you do. Moving on from this, we'll be getting into another song soon enough. Did you know this has got to be one of the craziest things? I had to research this. Trump had a town hall on CNN. So if you've been following along with the Rise and Grind for the last year and a few months, you'll notice that we've been saying that Trump absolutely has been hand in hand with CNN, you know, trying to promote it, trying to get them views. So I'm not going to read the 5 takeaways, but we will watch. I have a video prepared here. We can check this out. And let's hear some of the actions that took place. If you didn't know about this, they did a town hall on the liberal left media network, CNN. And here it is. Check this out. Start it over again. Let's get it right from the top.
What is the first thing you would do to help bring down the cost to make things more affordable?
Drill, baby, drill.
Drill.
And by the way he got out of Afghanistan was the single most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
Why did it take you 3 hours to tell them to go home?
I don't believe it did. Oh, let me pull it out. I have to pull it out.
I'm 26. I'm a veteran. I help manage a private aviation company.
You want a job?
I'd love one, yeah.
I'm looking for somebody very good.
Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
I don't think in terms of winning and losing. I think in terms of getting it settled so we stop killing all these people and breaking down this country.
What do you mean, weapons
I was
and
impeached
funding?
by a crazy woman named Nancy Pelosi.
But the question here is, would you give Ukraine?
Country is being destroyed by stupid people, by very stupid people.
You once said that using the debt ceiling as a negotiating wedge just could not happen. You said that when you were in the Oval Office.
That's when I was president.
So why is it different now that you're out of office?
Because now I'm not president.
Laugh track? Oh, no, I guess there's real people.
Are you ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's
you
the
mind?
answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to. You're a nasty person, I'll tell you.
Mega rally. Trump turns CNN town hall into a televised combat. You know, this is all theater, it says on the bottom right. Fumes over CNN Trump town hall.
Let me just be very clear. What we saw tonight was outrageous.
And the falsehoods kept coming.
Hello, darkness.
Now they're going to mock Anderson Cooper, CIA, who worked for the CIA, Anderson Cooper.
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to. You're a nasty person, I'll tell you.
I think is why you held on to those documents when you knew the federal government was seeking them.
Well, there's a good chance she actually is a he, but hey, we don't have documented pure evidence on that. And this last one, before we get to the next song break, is quite interesting. So there's tons of evidence if you actually dig a little deeper around the realm, and you'll find out that a lot of the huge part of the earth suffered a severe water catastrophe, right? Check this out. This is some of the stuff that we can find that was left. this beautiful brand new song is by Anna featuring East Forest with Let You In. Let's get back to the news. Fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. Have you seen what Chelsea Clinton is up to lately? It says here, Chelsea Clinton, it's time to force jab every unjaboled child in America. And it gets even crazier than that, if you guys can believe it. She's also supporting, this is to back it up, you know, we can't get too deep into some of the pedophilia that she's supporting, but what we can show you is this is absolutely true. It says the big catch up, Chelsea Clinton is partnering with who? The Gates Foundation on the largest child immunization effort ever. We want to stand up against this, and we want to state none of these children need anything but healthy fresh air and sunlight and exercise and love. None of this nonsense. Nothing needs to be injected into the human body other than love, sunshine, and fresh air, and a healthy diet. Moving on from that one, I can't believe how satanic the Clinton family is getting. And this was an old tweet that's being scrubbed for the internet. We'll bring it back up. Did you know, back when was this? It's saying in the bottom of the tweet, it says June of 2018 on the 30th, it says, I get so sick of people degrading President Obama because he had the courage of conviction to marry a transsexual, because some women are born with a you-know-what and must end transphobia today. So this is another one of the Kabbalah networks, and the Kabbalists are totally into this whole you-know-what agenda. So Chelsea Clinton and the Clintons, not only do they want to promote this, they're also promoting that all your kids need to be sterilized too. Moving on from that one, Canada is on track, they're saying, to smash last year's immigration record. So this whole immigration stuff, it's constantly being brought up, it's constantly being rolled out, and sure, they are bringing people in from different places in the country, but it's generally just a distractionary topic used to divide the public, because people do generally state with their own kind, just like the chickens that I have. The white chickens hang out with the white chickens, and the brown ones and so on. But it says here Canada admitted 33. You know, when you see that 33 more parliament residents, you know the fix is on. So this is what they're saying, and we're going to continue looking into this. Check this out. Breaking. This is happening in the state of Texas, where I'm residing right now. I'm in Austin. This is crazy liberal left trying to pretend he's right. Governor Abbott. So let's hear what he has to say on this whole, have you seen what's going on the border crisis? Check this out.
So let's be clear about what's happened on the border. Texas has the ability to secure the border ourselves.
It's not the best sound.
If we were acting in isolation, we would have secured the border. While Texas is doing everything possible to try to stop people from crossing the border, at the very same time, the President of the United States is putting out the Welcome Act, welcoming them in.
Again, they're dividing. All it is a divisionary tactic.
The cartels know it's the federal government that controls the immigration process. The cartels are working in collaboration with President Biden and the federal government to facilitate that illegal cross-border. We are being overrun by our own federal government. Texas is being undermined by our own federal government in our efforts to secure our border. It's only Joe Biden and his open border policies that's hindered our abilities.
So you need both sides. One side pits it against the other side, and that's how they use to divide and conquer the population. You get this here. Abbott says Texas is now deploying tactical border force in response to Title 42 of orders expiration. So now that they're doing all this nonsense, they're just taking the money and putting it in their pockets and doing absolutely nothing. And then they run these psyops like this one here we're going to show you on the screen. If you can believe this is true, they're saying that these people have come hundreds, if not thousands of miles to storm the United States border. Look at this. Look, let's watch. If you think this is in El Paso, there's very little people in El Paso, so it's hard to get down there and verify that this has taken place. But do you think that these people have traveled thousands of miles or hundreds of miles, and they're just walking across to just walk into the United States of America? Do you think this is real? Do you not think this is being scripted and funded by the New World Order agents? It's not real. Look at this. It's so fake and staged. Everything that they do is the theater. It's all fake. It's all staged, and there's more links to come. We'll be covering this here. Look, we'll go deeper into this. We've got more footage of what's supposedly... Here's another video of Texas DPS doing federal work. Look, this is them. They're sneaking across the river, huh? What's this, the Mexican police? Some bad quality sound. You notice they're all covering their faces. They're all hiding their identities. These people are trying to escape to America. They carried this baby hundreds, if not thousands of miles, these people. Is this what we're to believe? It's just crazy that we live in a realm where all this can be perpetrated when they're not out there actually trying to feed the poor and house the homeless and take care of the mentally sick people. Now we got a fake invasions. This was a apparent shooting that happened at the border, they're saying. So a truck under the bridge is firing up at these trucks that are at the border. The psyops are just rampant right now. I can't even believe it, but it's true. They're running them as much as they possibly can. And if you want to know the truth, it's more here. I'll show you the truth. All you actually have is just like this here shows. Well, it loads. Watch out, because sometimes the predator and the prey are working hand in hand together to fool and distract and divide you. That was a great one sent in by the producer. I thought that was hilarious. Moving on from that one, check this out. Now, I don't know if there's parents out there that have more than one child and not enough space, but you let me know what you think in the comment section. Is this a cool design? So what they're doing here, let me turn the sound off. Separating the two rooms into one room into two. It's a pretty cool build. I thought it was interesting, given the privacy, different areas. I thought that was a pretty good build. I don't know what you think. Maybe in the comment sections you'll let us know. More breaking news here as it loads. This one's now Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. She was asked, and she still believes that the banking system actually is good, she says here. Let's hear it from her own mouth, the horse's mouth.
That our banking system is strong and resilient. We don't have a systemic problem.
I do believe that. I believe our banking system has strong capital levels and access to liquidity. We've taken decisive action to make sure that difficulties at a few banks don't create contagion that undermines the confidence of depositors in the safety of their deposits in the banking system.
She can hardly talk.
Tools we use.
What a joke.
We would be prepared to use again if necessary.
They'll print more money into infinity. So they're still trying to tell you that the banking is all safe. Don't worry, we're not collapsing the banks, they're saying here. This one's crazy. Suspect arrested in second mass shooting in Serbia. So not only in the United States of America and Commonwealth countries are they running these psyops, but they're now doing it in Serbia, Russia, and other areas too. Just had to document that to show you. This one's cool. This is a concrete machine. Check this out. I was like, wow, I haven't seen this one. Jason from Awake Souls, he grew up with a family that did a concrete business. I wonder if they would employ this machine. This robot can smooth out, it says. Let's go back. How many square feet per hour? It says 100 meters squared, so that's 1,076 square feet per hour. It can smooth out and flatten and level. Check that out. Pretty interesting tool. Now, as the next process, you've got to continue to smoothen it as you go, as it dries, cures. This is a cool tool to help technology. So some of these robotical machines are actually good. They're not all bad. Some of them can actually help us. And they do a good job, right? Look at this thing go. I don't know if it can frame out and drywall buildings, but it definitely can flatten out the concrete. This guy's helping it along. It leaves a nice edge. I thought that was super cool. Moving on from that one, what do we got on the next tab of the morning? It says the door's open. One cry among many. This one's going back to the 10,000 in the Mexican border town where migrants are ready to risk the Rio Grande, despite warnings that children may drown. So they're just absolutely just targeting and ramping up. So they want you to believe that this is real, that these people are fleeing to the United States to seek refuge. Right? None of these people look poor. This person's eating quite well. These people do not look poor. They're all clean. None of them are dirty. All their clothes are new. This is supposed to be poor people? Is this person, this is not even a Mexican. Well, it could be, but it looks more Vietnamese. So again, all of this border stuff is just an absolute joke. I can't even believe that we got to cover it, but we do have to cover it and call it out. So many people are fooled by it, right? One of the other things that I've noticed is the rig sports and the gambling. It's just crazy how far we've come. When I was a kid, hockey was about hockey. You turned it on and you got hockey talk, news about hockey. Now you turn it on, it's all about gambling, right? It's just crazy. Everything is getting so gross. And this tweet says, football, beer, and above all, gambling filled up the horizon of the minds. To keep them in control, it was not difficult. That was from the George Orwell book, 1984. This is exactly what they're doing. They're dividing people with politics, they're trying to divide people with sports and gambling, keeping you drunk, which is a totally toxic thing to have in your life. And we want to call it out. Stop gambling, stop drinking, and turn the stupid rigged sports off. And if you watch it, just understand that it's all entertainment. It's made there to divide you. Here's another crazy topic that's come across the table this week. Did you know that during the Beltane fire worshipping ceremonies that took place this beginning of May, from May Day until I think a few days ago, they celebrate this, Alberta is supposedly a raging of fire. All these people, 80,000 people or 100,000 people have been evacuated out of the Alberta areas from forest fires. I mean, the weather has not been hot. They've had quite a bit of rain. How are they trying to state that these forests are now catching on fire? Right? They're lighting them on fire. Until I can see evidence of how this is not being a satanic ritual, I'm going to continue to call it out and say this is fake. They're faking this. Not fake. The trees are burning. They're lighting stuff on fire. And I didn't know if you've heard about this in Alberta, but apparently, like, a lot of towns are in serious trouble due to all these raging forest fires. And this is May. It's not June. It's not July. It's not August, after months of hot, repeated heat weather. And then you get like lightning storms and stuff like that cause fires to spark. No, this is May. This is the monsoon season, the wet season in North America. And yet Alberta is supposedly ablaze. And we definitely wanted to document that. If you haven't heard, now you have. This one's just crazy. Elon Cook coming in with some more nonsense. Last week he was talking about killing people so that two people could have their own apple instead of, cutting the apple into 3/4 sections. This one says, stay on the right path, even if you have to walk alone. And someone points out here below, that's the left path. Right. So what's Elon trying to do? And then you'll get nonsense people in the bottom here. You just gotta, it depends on how you look at it. Flip it upside down. QAnon is on it. And then you got this whole Pepe coin. So Bitcoin is just the ushering in of the totalitarian New World Order currency, where they can control, track, and trace every dime. You can't lend 10. You can't save any money. You can't decide where you want to spend your money when it's digital. You won't have cash. Your digital coin is only going to work here and there. But so now these Bitcoin scammers made up a coin that there's nothing backing any of this stuff, and they call it Pepe Frog Coin. This is a banned meme. It's satanic, and I'm not going to get too much into the details of it, but it's ridiculous. I just wanted to call it out. But as you can see here, Elon Cook showing you that he wants you to walk on the left-hand path. Go figure, whatever that's supposed to mean. Moving on from that one, this one's cool. This one's an interesting meme that we've seen a few times over the few years that we've been doing memes. And I thought it was quite interesting. When you look deeper down at it, it says, the moment you realize you're just a piece of data carrying information as you move through the circuit system that has been designed to siphon your spiritual energy in the megacities. Actually look like a computer chip, a circuit board system inside of a computer. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? What's going on in the virtual reality we're in? It's starting to mirror and match itself, huh? Cool, right? We've got more. Don't worry. Don't go away. We got more to show you. Breaking. Fox News is firing, you guessed it, Geraldo Rivera Is he going to be the next to join Twitter's new breaking content creators coming to Twitter? Yeah, ratings are falling. Fox has reportedly fired, they're calling him liberal commentator Geraldo Rivera. Another crazy, we're going to document it. We'll see if he ends up on Twitter too. What do you think would happen if I tried to live stream to Twitter? How quick do you think I'd be kicked off the platform? Or censored, at least. A very confusing statement by, yes, they're calling him the real Donald Trump. I guess he'll be back on Twitter. We covered that last week. This is the man who literally ordered the spying on his campaign. And look at this. Good luck and best wishes to the wonderful new king and queen of the United Kingdom. You are two very special people. May your reign be long and glorious. Godriel bless both of you, says Donald J. Trump. How does he explain these to the Q-tards? How do the QAnon fans, because they're supposedly taking down the Epstein, Hunahal, Jimmy Salve, and all these type of characters, but not. He's out here doing his best to wish the new king. He's serving and bowing the knee here, social media-wise, to the new so-called cuck king of the realm. This one's another interesting one. We're going to turn the background music down a little bit, and we want to show you how these politicians and these actors, the people that are hired by the CDC and these other characters like Rochelle Walensky's, all they actually do is just do exactly what they're told and lie. Check this out. Let's go through a few of these. I'll try to point some things out as we go. It says here, on her departure, Biden praised Walensky for her honesty and integrity during the so-called scamdemic. Is this true? Let's do a video review of what she failed to do. Walensky regularly encouraged fear and panic. Is it what a good leader does? I don't think so.
I'm going to pause here. I'm going to lose the script, and I'm going to reflect on the recurring feeling I have.
It's hilarious. She says she's going to lose the script as she's reading the script. That's the script.
Of impending doom. We have so much to look forward to, so much promise and potential of where we are, and so much reason for hope. But right now, I'm scared.
She's scared.
Our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick, and that it's not just in the clinical trials, but it's also in real-world data.
Let's pay attention to what she's saying here. Now she's in Congress.
Can you, if you were to get infection and vaccinated, could you give it to somebody else? Were you silently able to spread it? Those data were not covered in the clinical trials, but now data have emerged again that have demonstrated that even if you were to get infected during post-vaccination, that you can't give it to anyone else.
See what she said? They cannot, or it's all lies. There are misrepresentations of the scientific evidence at the time. And rightfully so. They should destroy the trust in the public health of these government agencies.
Leading up to the recommendations of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines for teens and adolescents 12 and older, CDC observed troubling data regarding the hospitalizations of adolescents with COVID-19. More concerning were the number of adolescents admitted to the hospital who required treatment in the intensive care unit with mechanical ventilation. Tomorrow, we will publish a report on this topic with more details in CDC's Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report. And it is these findings within this publication, one that demonstrates the level of severe disease, even among youth, that are preventable, that force us to redouble our motivation to get our adolescents and young adults vaccinated. Last month, FDA authorized and CDC recommended a safe and effective vaccine for COVID-19 that can be used in adolescents to prevent disease and hospitalization. I strongly encourage parents to get their teens vaccinated, as I did mine.
Then she went on to make more claims and also dramatically overstated her positions. Here, for instance, is the rate of hospitalizations among adolescents. And they're saying it's the dashed line. Let's keep going on her nonsense. All they do is spread misinformation. And it does have consequences. This exaggeration was used to push the jabble in children to justify their
myocarditis, that rare heart inflammation. There are now more than 300 cases being investigated. Of course, that's out of millions of people who've been fully vaccinated. Is there enough evidence, though, now to officially confirm the link between the vaccines and this rare condition?
Good morning, Whit. Thanks for having me. We certainly are looking at this carefully. We have an ACIP meeting that has been scheduled for next week, and we are going to be eager to look at the data during that meeting. What I will say is over 200 million doses of vaccine have been given, and really these events are really quite rare. They are, as you note, minor, self-limited. They generally resolve with rest and standard medications. And what we're really saying is the risk of the disease itself. We've had 300 pediatric deaths. We've had over 4,000 children with the MIS-C syndrome that have resulted in even more deaths, 36 more deaths. And so what we're really saying is in that context, these cases of mild heart inflammation, the risk of that, which are quite rare, that are overwhelmed by the benefit of getting vaccinated.
Please pause and read if you want to get the full information here. And she did what she was paid to do.
The evidence is clear. Masks can help prevent the spread of COVID-19 by reducing your chance of infection by more than 80%. Whether it's an infection from the flu, from the coronavirus, or even just the common cold. In combination with other steps like getting your vaccination, hand washing, and keeping physical distance, wearing your mask is an important step you can take to keep us all healthy.
Get vaccine facts. We can do this.
These people. Little benefit, if any. Fauci acknowledged this himself. They never worked. All they do is limit the amount of fresh oxygen you get into your body, which you need to be healthy.
The problem with this is that I had doctors who spent years in medicine telling me that the masks were not effective. And yet these were being forced on people. They're forced on school kids. And, you know, when you combine, particularly young kids, we're seeing the devastating impact that it had on their educational attainment. And it kind of surprises me that the NIH, CDC didn't do any follow-up testing, even while this was going on, to determine the effectiveness of this and the impact it was going to have on kids.
Yeah, I appreciate, you know, in order to do a randomized clinical trial, you need to actually have equipoise in the question. And ultimately what happened is that there were so many studies that demonstrated time and time again in the height of COVID transmission that masks were working to prevent transmission, that I'm not sure anybody would have proposed a clinical trial because, in fact, there wasn't equipoise to the question anymore.
Well, I guess we'll have to move on from this one. If you want to see more, please, I'll leave a link in the comment section below after the video. You can watch that one and follow along on your own time and see exactly how many lies this Walensky chick actually touted and continued to promote. And yes, they are going to pay for what they did. This one's really interesting. Learning how to fold in a different way. I've never saw, the producer sent this one in. Pretty interesting. I've never folded like that. This is something that we should practice. Good folding and keeping our stuff taken care of and clean and put away correctly. I've never done that type of fold. Check that out. Sleeves go first. That side, that side, that side. And then I guess that creates that little pocket. Wow. I've never been able to fold like that. I'm not that good at folding. So I thought this was an interesting clip to look at. A few more and then we'll listen to another song. Check that out. That's the pajamas, pants, and top. Or outfit. I don't know if they're wearing these just out. I don't know. Oh, rolling up the inside, outside. What? How did these people learn to do this? Wow. That's an interesting fold. So we're looking at some more. We got some more stuff to look at here. Check this out. Background music turned down on us as it transitions. Let's see as this one begins to load. More breaking news. We got more stuff to cover. A month-long hiatus over Twitter's labeling of them government-funded media. Guess what? CBC has announced they will be returning back to the platform. It was all staged and fake, and you know that as soon as Elon started labeling government-funded companies, they were planning on pretending to fight back only to, come back to the platform. We thought we'd document that. CBC is returning to Twitter again. Here's some interesting exercises that you can do even if you're stuck in a chair or you're at home and you can't get to a gym. You don't really have the energy to go outside. You can do squats. You can can sit down on a chair and you can do these exercises, right? Lifting your legs up, reaching out. You can do your punching. There's all these different types of ways. I just want to constantly promote every 15 to 20 minutes or a half an hour or an hour. If you're in a chair throughout the day, I want you to get up, stretch, walk, move, lift your legs, lift your arms, constantly be trying it. You only do what you can, but constantly remember that just staying seated for too long, it's bad for our organs and our body. We need to constantly try to move around, stretch, get as much exercise as you can. And you can do it from your own chair, right? You can do it from a chair. You can do it from just walking around your room. We just want to constantly promote that you can improve. It doesn't matter if you're stuck at home and you're not able to lift weights. Continue to try to move yourself, push yourself to constantly get up and do as much as you can. This next one's really interesting and one that I absolutely love. Something that I've always been interested in is mycelium. Do you know what mycelium is on the other side of the screen? Have you ever heard of it? Well, apparently the producer of Avatar absolutely knew what it was. Mycelium, or mycorrhizal, is a fungus that spreads underground and creates a network of connections between all plant species, a bit like the internet, allowing them to not only communicate but also look after each other. So isn't that amazing? The virtual reality that we live in underground, all the trees and plants and everything are connected by mycelium and mycorrhizal fungus that grows throughout them all together. I thought that was a beautiful one to show. A couple more and we'll do another song. Check this next one out. Special operations leader to report. Oh no, sorry. I skipped one of the tabs. So we've got this. A QAnon guy comes out. He shares this tweet. This is something that I want to help other people see so you can be protected against. So this Ezra Cohen, the Cohen-Watnick guy, so anyone who claims to be a Cohen, they're trying to say that they're Levitical priests descendant from the Levites. It's just absolute nonsense. So this guy, Truth Now, is a QAnon. Trust the plan. Military is on the way. He posted this May 10th. You see right here, May 10th, 2023. He's saying Ezra Cohen, Special Operation Forces, given the task to secure the country when the military TV generals have surrendered to the deep state globalists. So they'll put this out. I want you to hear.
Formalizing what we have long known.
So does he got his kippa on?
Of U.S. Special Operations.
So, and then what you really do is you have to do the research. And I remember we covered this back in November 18th, 2020, just before the Cerveza bug rollout happened. This was him coming out, and this is the same interview and meeting of the character who we just saw. And then you got the QAnon people trying to act like, there he is.
Then and now has confirmed
President
Kennedy's foresight.
So they've regurgitate and recycle this mis and malinformation. And they tell you to trust the plan, but the people that are sharing the plan and sharing the information are just agents promoting lies and disinformation. If you're stuck in this QAnon trap, run as far away from it as you possibly can. Global surveillance, it says, the secret of Swiss dealer enabling who? Yes, one of the five eyes they call Israeli, the sixth eye, who is really owned by the Jesuits and the Tiny Hats collaborating together to, control everything that they can. So here, look at this, okay? We got a few more. We're not in a rush today. This one says the PSYOP, and the people, okay? Everywhere you're going to go, everything that you're going to turn to, people that you see on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on all these different places are sharing PSYOPs. They don't even know it, most of these people. And the ones that do, they're agents. They do it purposely, okay? So check this out. You've got this story. I don't know as much about this Ashley Bobbitt character, but I know the Lorena Bobbitt character was a psyop, right? The night Lorena Bobbitt sliced off, you know what, right? Boom, 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 psyop, right? This one here, she wasn't killed. Was she one of the ones that were supposedly killed at the January 6th nonsense? I'll leave that up to you to discover. But check this out. This one says, cool story, bro. I will splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it into the wind. Quote from John F. Kennedy. It was an absolute murder hoax, death, faker. The Zapruder film came out 10 years later. 10 years later, and we'll look more into that. Again, they're commenting, this poster's commenting on this whole psyop that they want you to look into. Here, look, QAnon was set up for you and all the other people to do nothing and just be complicit as the Great Reset happens. And it was identical to the psyop that they ran in the 20s called Operation Trust, just before World War II, when they started to bring all the people back to the occupied state of Palestine. So go on and research Operation Trust if you have some time. We have the psychological operations, the army. They're everywhere on the persuade, change, and influence. This is what these agents do. They act like Facebook accounts and YouTube accounts and Twitter accounts, and they just psyop the people. Check this out, and let us never forget, jet fuel doesn't melt these passports they found on the street below the Twin Towers, right? Absolute psyop hoax nonsense. Or you really think that Oswald was the killer? When you actually investigate the information, you can see here from the very own publications, there are two totally different places where he was supposedly shot, right? You have to really be careful when you're decoding and looking at the mis, dis, and malinformation. Busted. This was staged. Missing microphone in the top right. Wake up, people. All of the psyops. World War III, another one of their psyops, mis, dis, and malinformation. They actually did declare war. And it is this. Cerveza is this. Okay? Don't be fooled anymore. Wake up and understand the truth. Look at this ritual that they did. Remember when they had the massive giant eye that they made at the tragedy site of the supposed 9/11 Twin Towers? They did some stupid ass satanic ritual 1 year later, right? Problem, reaction, solution. This is the Hegelian dialectic. They want to take away your rights. What are they? And look at this, the new building that they built, right? You can absolutely see here that it is shaped like this. Right? So, and one of the most last but not least, but most important is the absolute truth about the flat earth. So the flat earth is the absolute tipping point. When you realize that all of the governments, including Russia, Japan, and China, they're all colluding together to hide from you your actual reality of where you live. And you have agents like Tucker Carlson coming out with his Kabbalah bracelet guy wearing. The flat earth is a tipping point. This was said to knock it down. Tucker doesn't give about 9/11. Look at this.
If you go on TV tonight and say, I think the earth is flat, people are just laughing. They don't care if you think the earth is flat.
They do care.
But if you say, like, what actually happened with Building 7? Like, that is weird, right?
Hand sign.
What is that? Right. If you were to say something like that on television, they'd flip out. They would flip out. You'd, like, lose your job over that. Why? It's my country.
Right.
This is an attack on my country. Can I ask it? Like, I don't really understand. Do buildings actually collapse? No, maybe they do. I don't know. But, like, why can't I ask questions about that? Anything you're not allowed to ask questions about is something you should be asking more questions about.
Yeah, listen to Tucker, right? We're going to have a song break. I'm going to see you guys after this, and we'll get into more of Tucker Carlson.
I know you do, yeah.
that new one from Social Order, All My Life. Let's get back into this Tucker Carlson nonsense. He's back and he's going to release the brand new breaking information of which platform is Tucker Carlson, the Kabbalah wizard, going to be using. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth himself. Check this out.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. You often hear people say the news is full of lies. But most of the time, that's not exactly right. Much of what you see on television or read the New York Times is in fact true in the literal sense. It could pass one of the media's own checks. Lawyers would be willing to sign off on it. In fact, they may have. But that doesn't make it true. It's not true. At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie of the stealthiest and most insidious kind. Facts have been withheld on purpose, along with proportion and perspective. You are being manipulated. How does that work? Let's see. If I tell you that a man has been unjustly arrested for armed robbery, that is not, strictly speaking, a lie. He may have been framed. At this point, there's been no trial, so no one can really say. But if I don't mention the fact that the same man has been arrested for the same crime 6 times before, am I really informing you? No, I'm not. I'm misleading you. And that's what the news media are doing in every story that matters, every day of the week, every week of the year. What's it like to work in a system like that? After more than 30 years in the middle of it, we could tell you stories.
Hilarious that he's admitting that he's been doing this for 30 years. But now he's going to be good. He's going to take the Kabbalah bracelet off. He's going to tell you the truth now.
The best you can hope for in the news business at this point is the freedom to tell the fullest truth that you can. But there are always limits. You know that if you bump up against those limits often enough, you will be fired for it. That's not a guess. It's guaranteed. Every person who works in English language media understands that. The rule of what you can't say defines everything. It's filthy, really, and it's utterly corrupting. You can't have a free society if people aren't allowed to say what they think is true. Speech is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy. That's why it's enshrined in the first of our constitutional amendments. Amazingly, as of tonight, there aren't many platforms left that allow free speech. The last big one remaining in the world, the only one, is Twitter.
Oh.
Twitter has long served as the place where our national conversation incubates and develops. Twitter is not a partisan site. Everybody's allowed.
Right.
And we think that's a good thing. And yet, for the most part, the news that you see analyzed on Twitter comes from media organizations that are themselves thinly disguised propaganda outlets.
Oh.
You see it on cable news, you talk about it on Twitter. The result may feel like a debate, but actually the gatekeepers are still in charge. We think that.
Thanks, Tucker.
We know exactly how it works, and we're sick of it. Starting soon, we'll be bringing a new version of the show we've been doing for the last 6.5 years to Twitter. We'll be bringing some other things too, which we'll tell you about. But for now, we're just grateful to be here. Free speech is the main right.
I can't believe these absolute clowns. So they're going to ruin Twitter, right? They're turning Twitter into the new platform where all of the code, dismiss, and malinformation is going to be taking place. Remember, Elon Musk went to the Vatican with him and his family right before he got Twitter, and then the tiny hats and the Jesuits and the agents of the New World Order like this guy, who has been lying to you for 30 years, is now admitting, oh, now I'm going to come out and tell you the truth. This isn't a journalism. This is a cuck. He's a sold-out agent of the Azazel, and he pledges allegiance. You can see he doesn't hide it. So Twitter is the new dismiss and malinformation platform. As you can see here, we're back, he says, right? Let's move on from that one. Let's keep going. We got more news to get into before our next song break. Missouri lawmakers actually banned gender-affirming care. Trans athletes in Kansas City moves to defy state. So we are getting some good news. At least some people are pushing back. Did you hear about the shooting star that supposedly hit a house in New Jersey? They're saying that same shooting star came from Halley's Comet. There is tons and tons of this information coming out where there's all of these meteorites that could crash into the realm, and we wanted to point it out just in case. This was crazy. It caught my eye. Microsoft makes its first nuclear fusion deal. The tech giant will buy energy from a startup, Helion Energy. The fusion company aims to generate electricity by 2028. I wonder what type of electricity they're going to be getting into. We're going to have to look into that on another podcast. Moving on from that one, next tweet of the morning. The Bank of Canada launches its public consultations on the digital Bitcoin, digital CBDC currency. And listen to these. This has got to be one of the most ridiculous staged, scripted nonsense news reports I've ever heard. Listen to these people. Check this out. Let me get the sound on. Let's go.
Welcome back. Richard Southern joins us now. Hi, Richard.
Hi, Tina. How lovely is it today?
It's a beautiful day, and it's lovely here at Queen's Park. Well, the Bank of Canada is looking for input on a potential digital currency.
Yeah, this is interesting because, more and more central banks around the world are getting involved in this or thinking about getting involved in it now that, crypto, names like Bitcoin and Ethereum are kind of a bit more established. Bank of Canada said it's launching an online survey, Tina. It's going to be up until the end of June. They're looking for input on a wide range of designs for any possible crypto it might get involved in. Digital currency from the Bank of Canada would be a little bit different from the likes of Ethereum or Bitcoin in that it would be backed by the central bank and pegged to the Canadian dollar, so its value wouldn't change in the way that Bitcoin does. Bank of Canada says that while it doesn't see a need for a digital currency right now, it is preparing for the potential ahead. It says digital currencies from the central bank might be necessary if they become more widely accepted and perhaps if people stop using cash in the way they used to. So it's pretty interesting that an authority like the Bank of Canada is thinking about this and asking for our input.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Good that they're preparing and ahead of the game. All right, now King Charles has officially been crowned.
We'll stop after that. They go on to talk about nonsense, mal, and disinformation. So they are pushing ahead. They do want to turn everything into digital. And be careful in China. I am warning you guys, do not let this happen. This one's hilarious. This guy said here he's learned more from the internet than he ever did in school. Check this out. If you've got a rug that's tilting up in the corner, did you know?
Carpet that never wants to stay flat. Put some ice cubes right at the corner.
Ice cubes?
There. Hold it down.
Now, I do believe that YD did teach me this in the past. We'll have to see if she comments below when she sees this.
Ice is now melted. Look at this.
Boom.
Flat.
Voila. See, you can learn a lot on the internet. Open your eyes and start doing the research. The WHO downgrades cerveza pandemic. Fake-demic says it's no longer an emergency, everybody. Hooray. And the border is now open for anybody that wants to travel to the United States without having to, into their arms. So this is great news. This is the Canadian press covering this, that the WHO has downgraded. And who cares who the WHO is? But, hey, they are saying that it's over. It's not an emergency anymore. Good news. Check this out. Looking into more of this information we got. This is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, as a contractor and a guy that likes to build stuff, I would love to build this arbor hanging looking bed thing. This is just beautiful. The producer sent that in. I thought it was really nice. Beautifully done. A few more news tabs of the morning. Have you heard what's going on over in the occupied state of Palestine? If you haven't, here it is. The IDF has announced again the beginning of its Operation Shield Arrow. Right, so they're doing another assault, and they're just absolutely terrorizing the living daylights out of both people in Gaza and the people that live in the occupied state of Palestine, which they call Israel. So we can see some of the fireworks that they're shooting off. It's crazy. Right, so they're lighting off these fireworks, and I often wonder. I've been talking with Awake Souls about this. Are they going to bring these types of fireworks and this staged type theater of war to more cities and towns in the realm? Is this training grounds? Are these just them running the script? Are they practicing by psyoping the people? Right, and we're documenting it. We're covering here. You're not seeing it on too many other places. Breaking injury, they're saying in Israel is Israeli airstrike in Khan Yunis, south of Gaza Strip. So they're now south of the Gaza Strip. They're shooting rockets, and north. They're trying to hit Tel Aviv. This is what they're doing to the people in the occupied state of Palestine that are at the beach here. You go to the beach for a day, and then all of a sudden they start raining these sirens off as they shoot rockets into the air. Right? They're just trolling the living. Like, run. They're scaring and psyoping all the. Look at how beautiful this is. Palm trees. Beautiful. Look at it. And they're making these people believe that there's rockets being shot at them from the occupied state of Gaza. And people, you need to understand that nothing gets into Gaza. So when I covered this 9 years ago, one of their other operations. It's the Mossad agents who go into the Gaza region, and then they fire these fake rockets back into Israel to create all of this dismiss and malinformation and to terrorize the actual people. The drones overhead have done nothing but psychologically damage the youth in Gaza, and now they're attacking the people in the Israeli areas. They're shooting these fireworks off into the sky. We're reporting on it. We got to show it. This isn't going to hit anything. It's just a firework. Just terrorizing the people. It's got to stop. They got to stop this nonsense. Are they going to bring it to other places? Here we got Ben Gurion Airport back operating as normal, they say, as rockets that they just happen to be there to catch a picture of. This is like a model rocket that a kid would put together. This isn't going to do any damage to anybody. It's ridiculous what they're doing here, and we need to call it out. Why they're terrorizing these people is beyond me. Palestinian militants fire rockets after Israel strikes Gaza, so they blow up some buildings in the Gaza Strip, and then they have these supposed rockets coming back, and all they are shooting off is fireworks into the sky. We've been covering this for a long time, and it's just crazy. Are they going to start doing this to places in Canada, and the United States, and in Europe? You know, is Russia going to start doing these same types of things to neighboring countries? That's what we're trying to point out. We want to make sure that everybody knows that this is fake. These aren't real bombs, okay? It's just fireworks. That's all they are. Like the 4th of July, they're just doing it over these populated areas. This one was different. This was in Pakistan, apparently. It was at a protest. This one sounded like something serious. Oh, no, sorry. This is another Palestinian supposed rocket hitting a target in Israel. They show you this. This is the chaos that they show you that's happening. So the people need to be very afraid, right? They have all this devastation taking place. How did the people in the Gaza Strip, when the only way into the Gaza Strip is through gated military checkpoints, how are they getting bombs into Gaza that they're supposedly attaching to rockets? How is that possible? You're not even allowed to visit. Journalists can't go in there. You have to be a tiny hat wearing person to even get into these occupied territories. I would like to know how they're getting these explosives into these areas. Is other people looking into this? I want to know. If you've seen anybody that's covering this, please let me know. Share the link in a comment below. This says this week's rocket barrage was part of Tehran's terrifying war games. So they're continuing to war games, right? They tell you, if you look close enough into the outlets in the media. So day 4, war on Gaza, sirens activated in southern Israel, several rockets fired from Gaza, and you'll get both sides going back and forth, right? You'll get all these fake clips and all this nonsense that they're showing people. He had a rocket as the intro, like this is made by the CIA. All this is nonsense. Mossad, MI6, breaking, red alert. This one was just yesterday, May 11th. Rockets in southern Israel. Watch out. They're going to kill everybody there. They're just absolutely terrorizing the people, and we need to call it out. We want to make sure that other people are hearing what's going on. Massive blast. This was in Pakistan. Check this out. Do the Anderson Cooper. Yeah, what happened there, right? That was a big explosion, whatever that was. Moving on, we got a few more to go before we put on another song. Now, this is what your unemployed friend is doing at 11 a.m. on Wednesday. Doesn't this just look so natural? Caught a fish, clean the fish, scale it. This is how we do it. Take out the guts. This is great. Get yourself some wild natural onions. This is the way we should be living. Guy's pretty talented. I would like to have some fish cooked this way. Fry everything up, some butter. This was a great one the producer sent in. Got his spices. Gonna stuff the fish with that. Toothpicks. What's he gonna do next? Some garlic, some rosemary. More olive oil, more spices, wrapping it in parchment paper, now in tin foil. Check this out. What's he going to do next? Oh, he's getting some clay. What kind of a wrap is this? making the clay. Gonna wrap the fish in the clay. Putting it in the coals, covering it with the coals, leaving it in the fire. Digs it out, crack it open. Delicious. That looks wonderful. Are you eating like this? How are you eating? He's even sharing it with the dog. Thought that was a great clip to show here. And now, yes, not to be outdone by Tucker, Elon the Cuck Musk is now offering Don Lemon a show to be hosted on Twitter. You betcha, all these different people that are being fired from their platforms, Geraldo Rivera, Don Lemon, and Tucker Carlson, are now going to be hosts on TV shows here on Twitter, if you can believe it. This one was interesting. The question was posed, why did ancient Egyptian men wear makeup? Well, actually, the iconography and these types of hieroglyphs are actually fake composites that were created recently, within the last 150 years, and they're promoting transgenderism, right? So they have makeup, and then what they have is these people that believe in that this is 50 or 100,000 years ago, and that men should put on makeup, right, and be like women. But it says here that this was absolutely normal in the Egyptian culture, and it probably was, that they did paint their eyes, men, to dress up like women, because they were messed up people following Azazel's ritualistic lifestyles, right? Couple more to go. The power of thought and self-healing. This is something that I constantly want people to keep in your mind. Increasingly, yes, it's true. People are waking up to new understandings and new insights that are proving that beliefs we have been taught are wrong, and that the science on which they are based on is outdated. The old programs for controlling the masses are breaking down. They're losing their power. Thanks to the ever-increasing access to information that we all have at the end of our hands here, our fingertips on our phones, in order to obtain the right information, science must not be divided into individual fields, but all fields must be brought together. Medicine, chemistry, physics, and mechanics, and everything should be brought into a open form platform, open source, where hospitals are filled with flowers and people are starting to look at different types of herbs and foods to heal the body and not pharmaceuticals. But let's do another song and we'll get into some memes, and then we'll round this Friday podcast off. Thank you for tuning in. It's now 8:34 a.m. in the Central Standard Time, Friday, May 12th, and I am RJ Shine, and I will be back after this. And that brand new one from Cemetery Sun with Visions. Let's do a couple memes of the morning before we get out of here. Check this out. We also got a few more songs to get to you. Brand new breaking songs. Check this one out. It says, find friends who inspire growth as iron sharpens iron, and also iron shapes iron, right? You need iron to shape iron. So check that out. Let's check out this next one. We're going to continue on with our CIA exposing of the official CIA manual of trickery and deception. If you haven't heard it, go ahead and research this book if you'd like to learn more about what the CIA absolutely has done and does. So we showed you some Soleimani and some Saddam Hussein information and how they were part of the CIA agent. Do you know who Tim Osman is? Meet Tim Osman. 97% of people do not know that Osama bin Laden was actually a CIA agent, and his name was Tim Osman. Here he is right here. And they faked him out and put on his theater outfits and made him out to look like this, but this is actually what he looks like, right? Food for thought. Check this one out. It says, we are not lone wolves, okay? We need accountability, right? We want to know. We want to hold everybody accountable. That's what we're here doing. That's what the Rise and Grind does. We're documenting things as we go forward so that you're informed and we can remember things by coming back in time. Check this out. Prison and school. Why are the two exactly the same? Look, authoritative structure, loss of individual freedoms, loss of individual freedom. No part in decision-making, Settled times for walking and eating, both settled times for walking and eating. Dress code and rules of conduct, Focus on silence and established order, Negative reinforcement, walking in lines, and yes, you guessed it, in school, walking in lines. Why are these two things so much alike, right? Something's wrong. Everything needs to be fixed. From the medical care to the educational system to definitely, without a doubt, all the politics. We want to bring it out and we want to expose it, bring it into the light so that you can see what we care about here. It says, whatever is being censored, silenced, or deemed disinformation, right? It is actually what you need to be exploring, except you have to watch. They do the double flip now. Like Tucker Carlson told you guys not to investigate Flat Earth. Yeah, you can talk about that, he said. Just don't talk. You can't talk about Building 7, which is absolute BS, okay? Once you figure out the paradigm of your realm being lied to you, the actual world view that shapes your reality, you start to understand a lot more, and all the pieces fall away. You need to start going deeper into what things that they don't want you to. Check this out. Look at this one. Just a reminder that the concept of, quote, gender identity was fabricated and created by a Harvard-educated pervert named John Money, who tested his theories on two young boys, causing both of them to commit suicide. Right? This is true. Go ahead and do the research on John Money. And of course, now we got California legislature, this should be burned, passes a bill reducing penalties for oral and sex with children. I have to cover this in 2023. It's disgusting. I can't believe it. Why aren't there more people pushing back? On a funnier note, ChatGPT is releasing memes now after having to deal with humans every day. It's smoking. It's like, geez. These humans, I understand how you feel, ChatGPT. This one says, when the altar boy switches the glasses, whoops, what happened there? Let's do another song break. I'll see you guys after this one.
I'm drawn to you, and now there is. I can feel your blood in my veins, and I feel your voice in every breath. You're calling my name, and it never seems to end. Well, I've watched you as you turn from gold to a shadow made of stone. But how could I ever let you go with your hands around my throat? I can feel your blood in my veins, and I feel your voice in every breath. You're calling my name. I can feel your blood in my veins, and I feel your voice in every breath. You're calling my name, and it never seems to end.
That one, Awaken I Am with Relic, with a nice song. We're trying to get a mixture of new music for everyone to vibe with. We try to make sure that we bring out new content, new music, and keep you informed as much as possible. So check this one out. It says here, this is the absolute truth. My people are destroyed for lack of what? Knowledge. Right? Seek ye the knowledge. Try to find as much truth and information as you possibly can in these last days. It'll be nothing but empowering to you the more that you can know. See, it says once you become awakened, awake the others. Come on, you're needed. You absolutely are needed right now. You are needed more than I could ever say with these words. Okay, check this out. Government then and now. This was 2021. This is 2023. Check this out. Take the shot or we'll fire you, starve you, take your children, put you in camps, and leave you to die without medical treatment. 2023, nobody forced you to take the shot. It's so crazy how hypocritical these people were, right? We got to document it. Check this one out. First, we overlook evil. Then we permit evil. Then we legalize evil. Then we promote evil. Then we celebrate evil. Then we persecute those who still call it evil. Isn't this true? Have we had a time in creation where it's been more true, this statement? I don't know. It's pretty true. Check this one out. This guy's got the glasses off. It says NASA. He puts them on. Absolutely true, right? Absolutely true. And the pun is true in more than one way. Check that out. Check this one out. NASA logic. You want to get this one? The spacesuit costs $12 million. Says it can protect from freezing down to 270 degrees minus Celsius. However, they still need a $12 blanket from the Earth's deadliest climate, though, right? It's just so crazy. I can't even believe this nonsense, but it's true in this clown realm that we live in. Check this one out. No wonder the young people are so confused now. They call this woman a Native American. This woman they call an African American. This woman says she's oppressed, and that's not even a woman. This person says he's competent. This is a hero. This is a scientist. This is an expert. This is mostly peaceful, and this is a woman. I mean, how could you get any more confusing than these types of characters? I don't think you could, no matter what you did. It says here, as soon as you are born, you are given a name, a religion, a nationality, and a race. And you spend the rest of your life defending a fictional identity. What happened to just letting people be who they are and decide who they are? Nope, can't have that, right? Check this one out. Just like Biggie said it, never get high on your own supply, right? The 10 rules of whatever drug dealing. This is drug dealers never consume their own products. Look, the CEO, this isn't Coke. Now we're talking about Pepsi. The exact same poison is in Pepsi that is in Coke. It says the CEO of Pepsi was recorded saying he'd never let his family touch any of their products, right? Mark Zuckerberg puts tape over his laptop's camera and microphone. Steve Jobs banned his kids from using the iPad. Right? Think about this. Bill Gates strictly limits his children from tech use, and the CEO of McDonald's claimed that he would never even let his own kids eat his own foods company. He claims he doesn't even eat his own company's food. The owner of McDonald's, because it's people in there. But this is not our king. This is hilarious. Check that out. Good old Larry showed up for today. Pull it, right? And then this one. And the Lord said, nope, this is mine. Let's do another song. I'll see you guys after this. We're almost done.
I only saw you in a photograph I held. You're undercover, transforming how I felt. I used to feel in the dark, silent alarm. You never saw me, I was gone, a ghost is stunned. I'm sad to ask you for a knife in my room. Come this way, I'll use it right. I was praying that you still remember me, 'cause I remember everything you said I'd be. Now I can hear you in the LA morning sun. Your whispers echo in the shadows of my lungs. I'm sad to ask you for a knife in my room. Come this way, I'll use it right. I'm sad to ask you, leave a knife in my come this way, I'll use it right. It's a new kind of power. It's a silent dream. It's a new kind of power. It's a silent scream. I'm sad to ask you for a knife in my room. Come this way, I'll use it right. It's a new kind of power. It's a silent dream. It's a new kind of power. It's a silent scream.
And that's the Anix with Cut Me and their brand new rockin' tune. Back to the memes of the morning. Check these ones out. This has got to be probably the most important section of the morning, besides getting you guys the brand new music. That's what we love to do. And we try to bring out a bunch of different kinds of music too. I've been getting stuck listening to songs that I like. I'm going to try to venture into trying to bring out some music that is a new kind of style, because if we constantly play the same stuff every week, even though it's all brand new, but if it's always the same, maybe it gets a little boring for you on the other side of the screen. Let me know which songs that you think are the best, or which ones that you like, or any kinds of music styles that we're not playing here, and we'll try to look into those genres too. So check this out. It says, "You are what you eat." Every 35 days, your skin replaces itself. Your liver, about a month, it replaces itself. Your body makes these new cells from the food that you eat. So what you eat literally becomes you. So you have a choice in what you're made of. It's what you eat. What are you eating? Check this one out. It says counter economics. In order to break free from the grip of the central planners, one must start to participate in the localized means of production and trade. The amount of power that is stripped from the state simply by purchasing a turnip from your local farmer or growing your own will prove to be an invaluable asset in the near future. So we're doing this. We're doing this through the production of eggs. And it's $4 for a dozen. And they go really fast. And then we use the money to buy more chicken food, right? And we're actually going to hatch some baby chicks soon. And we won't have to buy chickens. We'll be having our own chickens being raised fresh again from baby state. We're going to get some new egg layers. It'll probably take them a year or two before they can start laying eggs again. But that's what we're doing. And we're also trying to grow dragon fruit now. Again, that's another 1 year I wish I had started it 20 years ago. But the dragon fruit plants grow really well here in Texas. They'll grow up to 20 feet tall. They're a climbing vine type grower. And I cannot wait until I start getting some dragon fruit growing. We'll take pictures and share it here on the Rise and Grind. Next one, moving on. Once declared safe by doctors, experts, politicians, and or Satanist scientists, asbestos, BPA, cigarettes, DDT, DES, leaded gasoline, mercury fillings, and formaldehyde. Right? Question everything, people. Fight for your right to choose what is safe and not safe for your family. Stand up and be heard. Join the fight. Check this out. Eat like your life depends on it, because it absolutely does. Right? I've absolutely been seeing more benefits through eating just half of a dragon fruit now, because it's expensive here. It's expensive everywhere. So you just cut it in half per week. I've noticed a huge change in metabolic rate. I've lost weight, right? My skin has been tighter and softened. And this dragon fruit is just beautiful. And how many other types of fruits and vegetables are we not learning about as well? Because I was stunned when I came to the revelation of how great this dragon fruit is. Now my mind has been opened up to so many different things. But let's look. Food is our true pharmaceuticals. That's how we heal the body. Check these out. We put them together here. If you're suffering from ulcerative colitis, you can use by ingesting aloe vera. It can also be used as a topical ointment as well. I don't know if you knew that. Check this one out. If you have a toothache, you can grind up clove and put clove on it. You don't always need to go to the pills, the pharmaceuticals. Look at this one. If you're suffering from nausea, you can crush up ginger. Right? And take screenshots or do your own research so that you'll remember these things, maybe for you or your young ones out there. If you might be suffering from hepatitis B, milk thistle, right? These are naturally growing like weeds that we can use, or flowers, to heal the body, right? Check this one out. When you have too much acidity in the body, what we can end up using is fennel seeds. Right? We're trying to promote the proper ways to treat our bodies. All this knowledge has been taken away from us because of the Rockefeller Initiative, right? With their pharmaceutical programs, because they're more sick, the better that is for them. This one here I'm going to be trying. I haven't tried it yet. I don't sleep as well. I guess many people that know the truth don't sleep as well too. I bet. Insomnia. You can cure it with saffron. I haven't tried that. I'm going to try it. The only thing is, I don't know where I can get natural saffron. I'm assuming there's probably a health food store or something like that here in Austin. I'll be looking into that. If you're suffering from diabetes, if you're eating too much sugar, if you're on a really bad diet, you can get fenugreek seeds. I've never even heard of fenugreek seeds, but I'm going to look into it. I'm not suffering from diabetes right now, but maybe you on the other side of the screen are. Have you ever heard of fenugreek seeds? Please do the study. Get your kids and you off of sugar. Stop eating it. It's poisonous. If you have pulmonary disease or anything with the heart and the blood systems, apparently grinding up natural raw cinnamon can help aid in these types of things. So these are just some, we're going to continue to remind people as we move forward, ways that we can start to combat things that the body goes through naturally without using the pharmaceuticals. And then if we want to detox the body because of what they're putting in the food, the air, the water, the sky, everything, these are what we can use, okay, to detox the body. 12 heavy metal detoxifiers. The heavy metals are found in different types of, poisons and this and that. Celery juice, which I haven't tried. I don't have a juicer, but I'm sure this is probably good. Grapes, right? Wild blueberries, apples, cilantro, parsley, radish greens, garlic, Duluth, barley grass juice powder. I don't know how good all these taste, but I bet you they absolutely do work. and a couple of more on the end here. So, are you detoxing the body? Are you looking for ways to become healthier and to clean your body of any toxins that you might have ingested or taken over the time? We want you to continue to try to look at that and use these natural remedies. Okay, that's what we want, and get as far away from the pharmaceuticals as you possibly can. Let's do the song break before we round off the podcast. That new one, Trip Hazard, Without You. And we are back. The last section of the morning show. Thank you for tuning in again. Today has been a beautiful Friday, May 12th morning. The time is now 9:02 a.m. in the Central Standard Time. Look at this, okay? Listen. 1,000 times we die in one life. We crumble, break, and tear apart until the layers of illusion are burned away. And all that is left is the truth of who and what we really are. Are you stripping away and burning away the illusions of what you are not? So for the last about 50 days, I took away all my vices, right? I stopped all of them. And after a few weeks of it being pretty torturous, I started to understand that who I really am doesn't need these vices. Now, I can still use a little bit of them here and there in a controlled manner. I'm going to control my vices. I'm not going to allow my vices to control me. And it does strip away all the illusions, right? Things that you thought you were happy about, things that you didn't or were unsure about. You start to become more and more clear when you give up all the things that you lean upon for happiness. You start to build your own internal happiness. And I'll tell you, it's really hard. It's really hard because this place is a grinder. That's why it's rise and grind. Check this one out. It says, I survived too many storms to be bothered by raindrops. No, we're flowers that bloom when we're rained upon. It doesn't matter how dark it gets, how wicked this realm gets. We are going to continue to grow and flower and bloom into the creation that we were created to be. This one says, once you realize that everyone is usually projecting, you stop taking things so personally. Let it go, right? Everything happens within your own heart and your own soul. All the healing, all the love. Once you begin to love who you are truly, you can outwardly start to love everyone else because you lead the way. You inspire the generations to come. You are the people on the other side of the screen. By taking accountability and becoming who you are meant to be, you heal everyone else in the realm. You don't even have to say anything to anyone else. You just do what you do and be who you are. And this one says, intuitions are the whispers of the soul. It says, don't depend too much on anyone in this world, because even your own shadow leaves you when you're in darkness. At times, you have to leave the city of your comfort and go into the wilderness of your intuition. What you'll discover will be wonderful. What you'll discover is yourself. So keep finding you again and work on karma. When a bird is alive, it eats ants. When the bird is dead, ants eat the bird. Time and circumstances can change at any time. So don't devalue or hurt anyone else in your life. You may be powerful today, but remember, time is more powerful than you. One tree makes 1,000,000 matchsticks, yet only one matchstick is needed to burn down 1,000,000 trees. So be good and do good, because when you do this, karma is good back to you. And the past is already gone. It's gone. We flew by it. It's gone, right? No, you can't do anything. The past is gone. You can't touch it. You can't get back to it. You can't always dwell in it. You can use it to remember who you are, but you can't ever change the past. The future is it's not here yet, right? It's not. Each second, the future is here. In the present, the playhead of reality is every second that goes past. So there's only one moment for you to live, and that's the present moment. Start doing something and staying within that present moment. Become who you were truly created to be and keep rising. Come on, like the flowers. We are flowers. We started this podcast off talking about circadian rhythm and heliotropism and how we are just like flowers. We truly, truly are like the flowers of the field. It says here, keep rising. Some things don't work out for a reason. We don't fall down just to stay down. The letdowns, the stumbles, and the heartbreaks shapes us and our path to our true purpose. These help us grow. They teach us how to be resilient and brave, and we learn what we are capable of. And this realization is very special. So please appreciate all that you've been through. Don't be ashamed. Don't hide in the dark. Come out into the light. Become that flower that was meant to bloom. And beware, though. Some people in your life will not be happy about your happiness or success because they feel threatened or jealous of it. Pay attention to how people react to your success and surround yourself with people who are truly happy for you and what you're creating in your life. Focus on the people around you, right? And choose people around you that are like blazing sunshine when you're down and they just lift you up, and that are willing to sacrifice and that want to earn your friendship and your love. People who care about it absolutely put the effort in. And also, you must forgive. Forgive anyone who has caused you pain or harm. Keep in mind, forgiveness is not for others, it's for you. Forgiving is not forgetting. It is remembering without anger. It frees up your power, heals your body, mind, and spirit. Forgiveness opens up a pathway to a new place of peace, where you can persist despite what happened to you. So go on today and forgive, please. And last but not least, walk as tall as the trees. Live strong as the mountains. Be as gentle as the spring winds. Keep the warmth of the summer sun within your heart, and the Great Spirit will always be with you. Thank you for tuning in. I've really enjoyed today's podcast. We're going to be live again on Awake Souls this Sunday. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And be like the sunflowers and become truly a plant and a flower that's ready to bloom into who you truly are. Thank you for tuning in. I hope I was able to share some information and some great music with you, and I hope to do it again each and every week. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
Circle in my mind, can you see me? See, I wasted all this time trying to be free. I've been twisting all these locks with the wrong key. Till the metal snaps, ever been to hell and back, chilling in the same spot. Overthinking till my brain rots. All these doubles, all these pints ain't shit to me. What we've got, girl, is history. What we need is not a mystery. Need some love, need some time, somewhere out of space. You're a glimpse of this light in this could go back years, I wouldn't change nothing. If I could hold back tears, there'd be rain coming. Guide me like the beat, stay drumming. You think you know what matters till you see the penny drop. Shit, I saw the pound fall, trying to stand tall. I've been lost, trying to hide shame, running, trying to fight rain. You gave me hope in the darkest of hours, so guide me through the showers. I give up all these highs just to meet you in the deep end. I'll throw away these nights just to hear you speaking. I've been living fine, not a lot of meaning.